Hello, everybody. I'm your host, Eric Bird, here at StopStrugglingNow.com. And today, we're going to talk about recession proofing yourself. It's precious metals time because the feds have been putting money into the economy, printing money, which means our money is getting to be worthless every day. So, stay tuned. Thank you for coming. Please like, subscribe, and click the bell below so you get the latest updates. Now, let's get to it. All right, welcome back. I want to thank everybody for your support. We're at 2,800 subscribers and counting. So let's get to it. It's the Stop Struggling Now way. Recession proof yourself. We've talked about this before. But now more than ever, I have to illustrate to you what's been going on. The feds. They've actually printed, even though this article here is dated September 27th, the feds, when they're talking about QE, quantitative easing, like I've mentioned before several times, that means they're printing money. So you can imagine if you have $100 in your possession right now, and then your kid comes out of their room and says, I see your 100, but guess what? I just printed up $500. So I guess I'll go buy something. Your $100 is now worth a whole lot more or a lot less, because in essence they're $600, but out of the 600, only 100 is real. The 500 is not. That's injected into the economy. So when we're talking about, they're saying $161 billion, it's actually more than that. The feds have injected $378 billion over the last week to help the banks be liquid. And what that means is the banks did not have money. They have money as in loans or assets, but they don't have liquid cash. So therefore they would have to sell their asset and turn it into liquid. But instead of doing that, the banks say, okay, we'll give you 85 billion here, 100 billion there, 60 billion here. So it's cash that they're printing up in the back door, but that's infused into our economy, which now means our dollar bills are less, which also means that's inflation. So ladies and gentlemen, you have to understand this is going on right now. So sooner or later, while they're propping up the stock market, making sure everybody's getting their money, sooner or later, you're not going to be able to print up enough money to make everything work. And then everything's going to have to operate on its own like a capitalist society should be. And dominoes are going to fall. And they always fall the hardest on those who have the least money. So how do you hedge yourself against some of that? We're going to talk about it in a second. But here we are now. I wanted to show you 400 billion, September 23rd. And this is Fortune magazine. It's where they're talking about it. Here we go. September 26th. Once again, their repo market bailout is a sign of deeper problems that are getting worse over time. That's all that can happen. So while the richest of the rich are bailing themselves out, they're not bailing you and me out. We don't get to go around and say, hey, you know what? I have a little cash crunch this week. Can you loan me some money? And then, by the way, I have a little cash crunch next week. How about loaning me some more? We don't have that luxury. But big banks, corporation hedge funds, whoever is in that realm, they get to borrow money. An endless cycle, and it's a lot of money. And they have no way to pay it back. And they're not going to pay it back. Read some of these articles. I'm going to have the list below, or a link below to these articles in the description below, so you can check this out for yourself, because this is kind of crazy when you really look at it. And who's playing this? It's not the ordinary citizen. It's not the OC. It's me and you. that are sitting here watching this stuff. We can't do anything about it. All they're doing is just transferring wealth. They're printing up paper money worth nothing and then shipping it out in billions of dollars. They get to keep the billions of dollars, don't have to repay the loan. Meanwhile, we go to work every day. It'd be nice if somebody showed up at your job and said, hey, here's $100,000 for the week. It's a loan. And then you're like, wink, wink. And then next week they say, well, you know what? We're kind of tight because we bought $100,000 worth of bonds. So we don't want to have to sell those. So we'll just give me another $100,000. So they buy more assets. They're using fake money to buy assets. Think about what's going on here. This is not a capitalist society. So how can you protect yourself? We've talked about it before. There's timing for everything. And if you watch one of my earliest videos about precious metals, it showed that there's a timeline and there's certain events that occur. And that event, it happens to be 2019 on the timeline. So in 2019, like I told you 6 months ago, 5 months ago, 3 months ago, you should be able to purchase yourself some precious metals. And here we're talking about gold, silver, platinum, palladium. And some of you may be confused. You don't have to be confused. Buy this, because even though gold this is per ounce. Let's just call it $1,500. I'll round up. $1,500 an ounce. You don't have to buy an ounce. Some people say, well, I can't invest in gold, or I can't buy anything in gold. Well, I have this page up for the gold simply to show you that you can buy 1 gram, 2 grams, a 1/10 ounce, 1/10 of an ounce. So 1/10 of an ounce is going to be roughly $1,500. I mean, $150. That'll be 1/10. Will be a 1/10 of 1,500. So that means it'll be $150. So that's affordable. You can get yourself a 1/10 of an ounce, or maybe you can buy ounces of gold, which means, $1,500 per ounce. You get 3 ounces, $4,500, and then you let it sit for a little bit. A lot of it. Let's just put it that way. But it's a little hedge against inflation in case of an economy collapses. And I can get into certain conversations with silver stackers, gold stackers, precious metal stackers. But for what we're talking about here today, for Stop Struggling Now, I'm not going to get into that conversation. I'm going to actually have Yankee stacking on with me one of these times, and we'll talk about stacking 101, and we'll talk about the pros and cons as how I see it. But as far as saving yourself in case that a dollar bill is worth nothing, at least you can trade your precious metals at other locations around the world. So if things hit the fan here and the government says, well, we're not going to let you guys buy and sell gold, silver, precious metals, you can take some of your precious metals and leave the country, or go to other countries and buy and trade it there, and get some currency that you can use to buy yourself and your family something. So I just want to illustrate here real briefly that now is the time, if you can afford it, even if it's like I say, if you can afford $1,500 an ounce, by all means, get an ounce, get 2, get 3. If you can afford it, get 5. But if you can't, there's other options. I mean, silver is like 80 or 90 times less. So that's affordable. That's going to equally rise. The federal government has been keeping the price of gold, silver, platinum, palladium kind of depressed the best they could do, because they don't want the ordinary citizen. Once you realize what the government needs, they're not. It's like a dichotomy of opposites. The government needs people to work, so they pay taxes, so therefore they can spend money willy-nilly on whatever they want. People need to preserve their wealth. So when I live in California, for instance, we have one of the higher taxes states. The tax states is California. So therefore your wealth is stolen. So when I go to DMV and then they start talking about, well, To register your car costs $350, and they're talking about, $20 goes to road tax, $50 goes to some carbon tax. When they start adding up all these taxes, it's not going to anything but thin air. But that takes the money out of the hands of the workers. So therefore, how are you going to preserve your money when there's inflation, when there's a tariff like what's going on right now, and the cost of goods and services rise in a matter of a few days? Nobody's getting a raise, but yet you're paying more. Everybody knows this. You guys all go to the grocery store. You go to the gas pumps. Come on now. Let's get real. And nobody's telling you how to save yourself. We're a country of consumers. So gold, silver, precious metals is what you should be getting a little bit of right now if you can afford it. And surely all these prices you can afford. Whether you can pay $20 and get 1 ounce, $100 to get 5 ounces of something, you should be spending a little bit of money and getting yourselves an accumulation of precious metals. And then you don't want to tell anybody where you're keeping it, okay? Because when stuff hits the fan, I won't use curse words tonight, but when stuff hits the fan, people might be looking for bullets, weapons, precious metals, because those will be of value. All right? And that's another thing, which I don't even have up here on the list. You might want to get yourself legit with a weapon. Even if you don't use a weapon, go to the range, shoot the weapons. Get yourself a weapon. Have some rounds of ammunition handy. Because the ammo, it might be valuable as well. I'm just saying. So you might want to handle that. So, silver. Let's hear. Silver over here is, this is, by the way, you guys know I deal with APMEX, sdboullion. The reason why, when you buy $99 or more, it's free shipping. So that's why I deal with these guys. I'll have a link down below to their sites, but you can see them right here, APMEX and sdboullion. And then again, you can go by, in fact, I have it on this page where it's actually 1 ounce, because 1 ounce of silver is so low that you can buy whatever quantity you want. It's just that the more you buy, the little bit less it costs. And there's always a little spot that they add on top of this. They have to make money, right? So it's 1760, and then you see here 1889. So they're adding like $1.29 onto here. And then of course the more you order, the less it is. And like I told you before, 10 ounces seems reasonable. You'll get 10 1-ouncers. And if you can afford 30, 50, 100, and you want to do that, now's the time to start stacking. This is stop struggling now. Stack a little bit. I'm not saying break your 401k. I'm not saying take out all your money in your bank savings or under your mattress or wherever. All I'm trying to say is you need to get a little bit of something, because if you go back to 2009, 2010, you can look at a chart and you'll see when the economy went down, all of a sudden gold and silver started rising. And I don't really remember the numbers because it was long ago, and even though I did a video on it, it was 6-7 months back. But what I do remember is the silver went up to, I believe it was $70, $80, $90 an ounce. So you don't want to be sitting here this time where this thing goes to $150, $200 an ounce, and you're sitting there going, man, Eric told me to get this stuff when it was, well, some of you should have gotten some when it was $14 and earlier this year when I told you to get it then. But either way, you don't want to be here and say, hey, I bought this at $20 an ounce, and then you look up and you see it's $200 an ounce, and you just would have bought 10 ounces, and that's worth $2,000 and could be worth a lot more. And the same things could happen with the gold or platinum or palladium. They could rise up to double what their numbers are now. silver is lagging behind traditional history. So again, these are some of the things that you want to be in so you can recession proof yourself. So at least you have a little bit of something in case you wake up today and you can't pull out money from the ATM machine. You can't go down to the bank and you find out it's a bank holiday, as they call it, which AKA means they're closed. So you can't pull out any money. So what are you going to do? People who have diamonds, any type of jewelry, they can now, you're going to start seeing people going to wherever they can get money from to buy, or however you can purchase, barter, and purchase items. Same thing. Those items start becoming more valuable because without money, think about it, then where do you go? What's the value of anything? So again, recession proof yourself. That's what this discussion is about today. And then some of you know there's this thing called cryptocurrency. And I've been talking about cryptocurrency now for the last 2 months. And I've talked about it before that, but in the last 2 months there's this company called Cloud Token, and you guys know I made a video. I love Ronald I, because this guy is like a humanitarian. He's actually doing the things the right way, and that's why I love what he's trying to do and is accomplishing. So I'm just going to show you the Cloud Token wallet. Is this cloudtokenwallet.com, and you go to that website where I'm at right now. If you have Apple, you click on the Apple. If you want to go to the Google Play Store and get the Cloud Token app, so be it. Right here, you can download it on Android. If you're on your phone, you can go to Cloud Token Wallet right here, and then you use my referral code, which will be down below in the description. And if you don't know anything about crypto, I made a video. I guess I'll put that down below in the description. And I also have additional videos to help you get started with Cloud Token. So Cloud Token issues money every day, but I'll explain that briefly here. But what I'm trying to get at is, this is another thing that could be recession proof. There's coins that you can buy. So Bitcoin right now, I don't know what the numbers are on Bitcoin. I don't really pay attention because things fluctuate. But let's say Bitcoin is 9,000 right now per coin. The beauty about cryptocurrency is you can buy $5 worth of Bitcoin. Even though it's 9,000, you can buy $5 worth. So if you don't have 9,000 or 20,000 to buy a few coins, Bitcoins, then you can spend 300. You can spend 1,000. You can spend 5,000, and you'll have a percentage of the coin. So you'll reap the rewards. If the economy goes south, then that means some cryptocurrencies could skyrocket, and that's why it's worth it to put a little bit of money into cryptocurrencies. And for my money, I have more than $500 at Cloud Token Wallet, and I'm receiving Cloud tokens because I put my money in the Jarvis project, and I'm receiving Cloud tokens every day. And then some people will say, well, what can you do? You can't. Yes, you can take it out. So when they ship me Cloud tokens, I can just exchange them into Ether or Bitcoin or Tether or Doggy, as I call it. Somebody else calls it Doge, but either way, DOGE. And and then you can send your money out to wherever you want. And if you're lucky enough to be at October 5th event in Kuala Lumpur, you'll have a debit card, or prepaid card is what they're calling it. But still, you'd be able to go to an ATM machine and pull out your money from the Cloud Token wallet, which is amazing. So this is why I'm advising, if you can put 1,000 or 2,000 or 3,000. But like I said, you can put 100 in there. But you have to say, I want to opt into the Jarvis project, which is on the app. There'll be projects, and you go over there, and then you say you have to have it in Ether, and you have your money into Ether. Then you load it up to the Jarvis project, and then you're all good. So that's a the cryptocurrency, whether you do cloud token wallet or not, whether you just want to buy cryptocurrency and go to where can you go? Binance, Mercatox, Gemini. I mean, there's a few wallets. My Ether wallet, which means you keep it yourself. You can get a nano wallet, but you have to understand, you have to have your private keys. You can't never lose them. You know my story. I lost my private keys, and that's a lot of money, because I got Bitcoin when it was, like I said, I can't remember. All I know, it was under 10 cents. So, and I bought only like $10 or something, because cryptocurrency was like, what is this? So I have, I started 300 Bitcoin lost in oblivion because I don't have my private key information. So that's a nice little tidy sum. So anyhow, we're gonna make this a short one. And when do I ever make them real short? But I urge everybody, now is the time to get into self-preservation. Now is the time to reduce your debt if possible. Pay it down rapidly. And because what's going to happen is when liquidity dries up, they're going to have to get extra money from somewhere, and that extra money comes in the line of, you thought you had a 10% interest on your credit card. Now it's 15. You thought you had a 26% interest on a credit card. Now it's 35. So I know there's laws, but these guys shirk the law because why? They don't get arrested. Okay, you have pharmaceutical people who have an EpiPen that's $150, and the guy says, forget about it, I'll make it 15,000. I mean, you just never know what people do, or 7,000 or 3,000. It makes it unaffordable. So you never know what these people who already make money are going to try to do to screw people. They're not Ronald I. They're not humanitarians. They're not looking out for their fellow man, trying to make them all be better and prosperous. It's basically crabs stepping on crabs, trying to make sure somebody goes up and somebody stays down, and they don't care who they're stepping on the way up. So think about it. Don't be that person. You got to be kind, humble, and always respect people, because you never know who you're going to meet on the way down. All right? When you're rising, it's best to be humble, kind, sweet as you can be, always courteous, always respectful no matter what the other person does to you. Of course, we all get mad when people jack us, but the fact of the matter is, you're not supposed to be the one jacking somebody, because when you start falling, and everybody falls, somebody that you did something great for at one time would be grateful, and they say, hey, I got a limb, a lifeline that I can float out here. I got an idea, I got a thought, I can help you with something. You just never know what happened. Plus, let's just keep it all real. Karma is a bitch. It's a thing. So with that said, please like, subscribe, and click the bell below so you get the latest updates. And I always end with this heart out here. With the Fed spending $400 billion this past week, that means inflation is going to continue, prices are going to rise, you need to get yourself additional streams of income. I'm offering some for you, and over this weekend, I promise, I'm going to be flying. I'm going to be having a long layover. So the Business Credit Suite Wealth Builder program is going to be in effect, and I'm going to give you a sneak preview. It's going to be introductory offer only, $999, and you're going to be doing it online. So you're going to have your own little suite where you log in. You can start from scratch. If you want to do an EIN number, there's going to be a login for that. It'll be in the back office. You go, EIN number. You're starting your LLC, you go to the Secretary of State and get your LLC. And from that point on, you get your Quill, your Granger, your Uline, your Wells Fargo secured card, and you get yourself started with your business credit 3 months. Then you move on to a next level, and all that is explained to you, and all that is your own step-by-step program. You don't need to call up me, and you're going to have your own support staff that you can call up for the first year if you have any questions or need help. But it's going to be all up to you, because if you want me to do it, well, let's just say I get paid. So it's going to be roughly somewhere, if I'm going to do it, I never set the price yet because I'm going to have the introductory, but it's going to be somewhere between $4,500 and $5,500 if you want me to do it and help you do, because I'm going to be asking you for the same thing. I'm going to be telling you the same thing. Just what I told you in my previous videos when I said, this is what you do to start your business credit. It's going to be the same thing. I'm still going to need your information. I'm still going to need your EIN number. I'm still going to need your LLC, Articles of Incorporation. I'm going to need all that. I'm going to need you to have a business address, whether you have one, and if you have a residential address, you're going to have to get a virtual office. And I would hope you'd use Opus. So anyhow, with all that said, watch out this weekend. So keep your head up, keep moving, and I'm out.